In the previous lecture, we have seen about the properties of Z transform, starting with the linearity property. Then we saw the time reversal property. So in the time reversal property, if we see that how to solve the numerical for a time reversal property. So here we can see that we are asked to find out the Z transform of u of minus n. So simply if we find out the Z transform of u of n, which is the very simple transform. So if you substitute in this Z transform equation, we try to find out the Z transform of u of n, then we get this Z transform as 1 upon 1 minus Z raised to minus 1, okay, or for mod of Z greater than 1. So this is the Z transform of the signal u of n, but actually we are asked to find out the Z transform of u of minus n. So simply by using the time reversal property, okay, which states that the Z transform of x of minus n is x z raised to minus 1, okay. So wherever we get here z, we just put here z raised to minus 1. So z raised to minus 1 upon z raised to minus 1 minus 1. So rearranging the terms, we get this value, okay, with the ROC z less than 1, okay. So this is how we can find out the Z transform for, Z transform for the time reversed versions of the signals if we know the Z transform of the original signals, okay. And one interpretation here, see x of n, u of n is a causal sequence, that's why the Z transform is mod of z greater than 1. U of minus n is a non-causal sequence, or we can call it as an anti-causal sequence, hence the Z transform ROC is mod of z less than 1, okay. So this is a very important pair which we have to remember, okay. Next property is called as a time shifting property. So time shifting property, it can be whether if you are shifting the signal in the time domain, that is if you are delaying the signal, or if you are advancing the signal, okay, what is the effect of this time shifting, that is advancing and delaying in the frequency domain, okay. So what happens to the frequency domain, that if you time shift the signal, that if you delay a signal in the time domain, then its Z transform will get multiplied by Z raised to minus q. So how much amount you are shifting here, okay, you are shifting by minus q. So your Z transform, that is the original signal Z transform, will get multiplied by that factor Z raised to minus q. Similarly, if you are advancing the signal by plus q, it will get multiplied by Z raised to plus q, okay. So this q can be any number, okay. So later on we will see in the numerical that when we are having this in the numerical, that when we are having here 2 here, so this factor will be 2 here always, okay. So how can we prove this property, okay. So the proof is similar to what we have proved earlier, just we have to use some substitution. Now this is the definition of z, x of z. So this is the original signal x of n, its z transform is given by this equation. Now let us try to take the time shifted signal, which is x of n minus q, okay. So just substitute in place of x of n, we will have x of n minus q. Now in order to solve this, we have to do a substitution. Let us do the substitution. Let p is equal to n minus q, okay. So in this case our n will become p plus q, okay. Now we have to change the limits. Now how to change the limits now? So you see here in this case our limit is from n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. So when n is tending to minus infinity, okay, what will be value of p, okay. So if you put n here as minus infinity, so minus infinity minus q, it is nothing but minus infinity. So when n will tend to minus infinity, p will tend to minus infinity. So look at this equation, this is important, okay. And what will happen when n will tend to infinity, plus infinity, okay. So when n will tend to plus infinity, p will tend to plus infinity, okay. So that's why the limit now here it is n equal to minus infinity to infinity. So we will put these values now, okay. So our limits will now be p equal to minus infinity to p equal to plus infinity. This is how we solve the numerical of summations, okay. And now instead of here n minus q, we are going to put p. So n minus q is equal to p here, okay. And instead of minus n, okay, so minus n is minus, what is n here, p plus q. So minus p plus q, okay. So now you open the bracket here. Now p is a variable, q is a constant, so just take here q outside. So z raised to minus q will come outside the summation, okay, inside this. So if you look carefully at this equation now, okay, so if you look carefully at this equation is nothing but a simple Z transform equation. So compare this equation with this equation. Okay, so it is simply here the variable is n and here the variable is p. Everything is same. Okay, here it is p and here it is n. So n is tending from minus infinity to infinity. Here p is tending from minus infinity to infinity. This is x of n, this is x of p. This is z raised to minus n, this is z raised to minus p. So this is nothing but the z transform. Okay, so just simply I can write this as an equation of z transform. Okay, so what I find here is that when I time shift the signal, okay, I have in the z domain. Okay, so z domain we are having this factor z raised to minus q multiplied by this. So how much you are shifting that time signal, that much the z transform also gets modified, okay, by the same amount z raised to minus q. So similarly this discussion was for time delaying. Similarly, if the signal is time advanced, that is n plus q, you can find out the similar equation. So instead of minus you will get here plus. Okay, so you can solve this again similarly for z raised to n plus q also, you will get this. Okay, so let us see a numerical based on this. So if for example if you are given a signal x of n which is 1 2 3 4 5 and the signal is starting here. Okay, so we know what is the z transform of this simply. Okay, we can write this. We have solved this numerical for causal sequences, how to get the z transform. Okay, now if you are asked to find out the z transform of the same signal, but now the signal is starting from here, so this is your zeroth sample. Okay, now if this is the zeroth sample, so this is nothing but, okay, the time shifted version. So now if you compare these two signals, so this signal is nothing but x2 of n is nothing but the time shifted version of this signal. Okay, so it is what we can call it as an advanced version of x1 of n. So x2 of n is the advanced version of x2 of x1 of n by 2. So this is signal if after shifted by 2. Okay, after shifted by 2 we get this signal. Okay, so now let us try to, by using the properties of Z transform, which is called as a time shifting property, we can find out the Z transform. Okay, so simply here instead of solving entirely again for this numerical, what we do is simply we use this property. So what does this property state? That the property states that if you are having a time shifted signal, then we get the same Z transform multiplied by this factor. So just we need to find out this factor. So in this case it is plus 2, so you will get Z raised to 2. So z raised to 2 multiplied by the z transform. So already we have found out the z transform. So no need of finding out the z transform once again. Okay, just you have to multiply this entire z transform with the factor, that is z raised to 2. And once you multiply, so z raised to 2 into z raised to 0 will get z raised to 2 plus 2 into z raised to 2 into z raised to minus 1. So it will be 2z, so because 2 minus 1 is 2. So again 2 into minus 2, so this will become only z raised to 0 which is 1. So here we will get 3 plus 4 into z raised to minus 1 plus 5 into z raised to minus 2. So this is your final answer. So this is how we can we can find the Z transform of time shifted signals using the time shifting property of Z transform. So whenever you understand any property, try to understand by with the help of a numerical, so that it becomes easy. It increases your understanding about the property and how to apply that property for the different numericals, for different, because the basic purpose of studying the properties is to tackle the numericals. So what type of signals we are encountering in the numericals, we should see which property fits into that signal. Okay, so whenever we see at a signal, we should see that which property we can apply here. Okay, so based on that, we have to use the particular property and apply that property and directly get the result. So solving the numericals using the property is very simple compared to the traditional solving, where we have to solve with the help of the complex equation of Z transform, then different summation equations and different summation formulas and so on. Okay, so that solving the traditional method of using the definition of Z transform is cumbersome and it is very complex also, but solving the numerical using the properties is a very simple thing. So in the next lecture we will see about the time scaling property. Thank you.